Not only did I read briefings and not only was I taught the theories of these technologies, but they were demonstrated for me and I know they are true and accurate.
Hey, Space Pal Zorro, how you doing?
Wait, did you start recording?
Yeah, I did. I was like, I'll just...
No, you gotta say so.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Hey, Space Pal Zorro, how you doing?
Hey.
Good, good.
How you doing?
Good, man. Good, brother. Excited to be
Good.
here. Yeah, for sure.
We got some amazing new UFO news that
Absolutely.
you haven't heard anywhere else today.
No, nowhere else. Well, today. Yeah, today.
Nowhere else. It's so saturated with bullshit UFO stuff everywhere.
It's true.
We're gonna bring the newness.
Totally. By reviewing other people's videos and talking about other stuff too, of course.
Right.
I was gonna talk to you actually today about the new Egg UFO videos that are coming out. There is the old Egg video, and then now there's a new Egg video that's making the circuit. It's been seen on 4chan, and yeah, I'm a big fan of all the stuff that comes out there. You never know what's real and what's not. Always interesting though. Yeah, sure. It was on Vetted. The new Egg video is on Vetted. I'm going to share a little bit of it now. We can talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So that's what we're looking at here. That's the video in question. That's the best version I was able to find on the internet.
Yes, that is the new one. And there's the old video that is distinctly different than the new video, and I will show you the old video right now.
Okay.
Tell me if you see a difference between the eggs.
I mean, nothing about this is the same. Even if you were to zoom in on that News Nation one, like, you know what I mean? It's not even close to the same, like, at all. No, it's so different. It's crazy. I mean, you can even see the wrapping around the egg is not even the same. Like, again, the lighting, nothing.
I agree, very much so. If we look at the two things, one looks very circular, and one looks like a testicle. You know? Completely
like
different.
an egg. The angle is different though.
Yeah,
it looks like the new one is looking straight down at it, which would make it more circular, I guess.
Yeah, that's a valid point, I think. Yeah, because it's closer too. The other one is kind of far away. So yeah, I agree with you. Maybe the pad moved too. The pad's definitely different. The padding on the two is different on the sides, but it could have moved and shifting around, to be fair. That's possible. They're claiming that this one is 4K versus the old one. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's glowing almost. I don't know. It's probably the lighting.
Right.
And I also see like a seam going down it in the new video, right? Is that a seam or is that the harness thing?
I think it's the harness connecting. Yeah, because it should be connecting from at least 2 or 3 points on it from those wrappings. Yeah, I think it might be just the harness that's wrapped around it. But interesting, nonetheless.
Yeah, totally.
There was some stuff that went on 4chan that was absolutely sus, like immediately following the first Egg video, which came out from Jacob Barber, of course, was the whistleblower who was discussing this, and he says he was a part of this retrieval program, this very one. He didn't mention anything about hieroglyphs or anything, but somebody on 4chan decided that they were going to release some stuff that looked like there was some hieroglyphics and things that were on it, and then it immediately got, the hammer, the debunk hammer. People were saying, oh, that looks all cheesy and not real and stuff, and hey, you never know with this stuff. But yeah, interesting nonetheless. So this is the new 4K footage with the round circular ball. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you have any new news or anything that you've seen lately?
I have a new something that's UFO
Ooh,
related or
let's hear
UAP
it.
related.
Love to hear it.
There's an app
Okay.
on at least the iPhone. I think it's for both Android and iPhone called Enigma.
Okay.
And it's basically, I don't know if you're familiar with the app Citizen, where it shows you all the crimes around you going on.
No.
That's a good app too.
It should be called
Okay.
Rat.
Well, there's an app called Citizen
Yeah. Okay.
that you can see all the crimes going on, and then it'll alert you. It's like 500 feet away, somebody got stabbed or whatever.
Wow.
But
Okay.
this one, yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
This one though is about UFOs
Okay.
specifically,
Yeah.
and you can upload your footage to it,
Sure.
and you can review. You can see your area and see which other ones have any sightings that have gone on and when, and
amazing.
video or pictures, or yeah, it's actually pretty cool. So I downloaded it. I uploaded this little video of something I saw, and yeah, so far so good.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah,
I'm
so get
interested.
it, try it.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to. What was it called again?
It's called Enigma.
Enigma.
Enigma. ENIGMA.
Sweet.
Like the really cool band from the 90s that had trippy shit.
Oh, super cool band. I used to actually meditate a lot to those guys. Actually, I love that.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah. An unhealthy
The
amount.
age of innocence.
Totally.
Oh, remember that shit?
Yeah, I do.
That was lit.
I do. It was lit. Love that shit. Yeah, it's I don't know, man. It's been crazy. This last 6 months has been insane with news. Trying to keep up with everything has been a challenge, but really fun. It's a fun adventure. Looking up all this stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
absolutely.
is a fun adventure.
So we were talking about Whistleblower, Jacob Barber, who first appears on News Station with Ross Colehart. That guy is doing the Lord's work over there. He's bringing on all the coolest people and getting all the craziest news. So I'm going to put it up for those people who haven't seen Jacob Barber, because he's obviously in the news a lot lately. So I'll just put it up here.
Yeah.
So tell me about the moment when you realized that you were involved in a retrieval of non-human technology, alien tech.
So it became very clear the first time our communication process and procedure was modified. And then just visually looking at the object on the ground, you could tell that it was extraordinary and anomalous. It was not human.
How close did
What's
you
up with his eyes, bro?
Well, I was a helicopter pilot, and I operate with 150 foot to 200 foot long line. So I got within 150 feet of this object.
What did you see?
I saw an egg, a white egg.
Was there any visible propulsion system on it?
No, not what we know. There's no engine. There was no thermal signature. I was operating at night when I finally came in to pick it up. So I'm working under night vision goggles at the time. And it was quite clear. I flipped them up, flipped them down, and looked at it a couple of different ways.
How did you know that that egg-shaped object was non-human in origin?
Now, visually, after seeing all kinds of things in my past, it was clearly something that was ridiculously looking. It's inconsistent with anything I'd ever seen before. I can also tell you that the reaction by my team, we all knew we were dealing with something extraordinary.
Yes, extraordinary indeed. It looked wild. I guess that's why it was green, maybe because it was the night vision that he was actually seeing there.
And also, that's why his eyes are like that, because when he saw it, his eyes never recovered. He's just like,
Yeah, whoa.
holy shit, it's an egg.
Whoa.
And then he's like,
We should do the rest of this video like this.
Let's do
His
it.
honor.
Okay.
Jake Barber. He saw
Yeah.
some shit.
This is- Dude. It's written on his face.
Yeah. Permanently. It's not meth, it's
Dude.
UFOs.
That's a great campaign.
Yeah, it's not meth, it's UFOs.
Mhm.
Yeah. Wow.
Well,
I
that's
don't-
crazy, though.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. I love how many of these whistleblowers are coming out lately. It's so fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
have
that's
you
pretty dope.
have you heard anything going on in your area in good old California? Heard any new UFO sightings there or anything?
I haven't heard of anything. I mean, there's a ton with that app. I
Yeah.
see shit all
Oh, so
around.
you're watching stuff all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. But what is interesting though
Mhm.
is that the U.S. military
Mhm.
used to use dolphins
Mhm.
back in the day in the
Yes.
60s.
Yes.
And it's actually illegal to communicate with dolphins. That's like a law.
Like you
I don't
can't,
know if you knew that.
like you and I couldn't go hang out with
Yeah.
dolphins and be like, "Hey, bro, what's up? What's
Yeah,
going on,
like
dolphin?
what are the secrets? Yeah, what are you seeing under there? You know,
Yeah.
have you
What's,
seen any
yo.
USOs or anything?
Yeah. So no bueno on the talking to dolphins. That's an interesting
So
thing.
that is interesting, and
Mhm.
the reason why I'm bringing that up is because we had a dolphin that was supposed to join the show tonight. We're going to interview it, and it's illegal, so we decided not to. But that is a true fact that
True fact.
it's illegal to talk to dolphins, dude. What the fuck?
That's
Isn't
wild.
that trippy? The reason how does this tie to UFOs? You ask.
I do ask that.
That's a great question.
Thank you.
Well, okay, so from a USO view, right?
Right,
You know,
yeah.
things happening underwater, dolphins being very intelligent and
Sure.
horny.
Yes.
Uh,
Very horny
like
animals.
the mysteries of beyond and things that cannot be spoken.
Mhm.
Like the dolphins know stuff, and we can't talk to them because you're gonna get arrested.
Arrested. Damn. That's brutal.
Yeah.
I have always wanted to talk to a dolphin. Never wanted to
Yeah,
be
don't-
raped by a
don't do
dolphin.
it.
I hear they're very rapey, but never wanted to, you know.
That doesn't sound like a horrible.
There was that female scientist, right? Who she was doing a study
Yeah.
with the dolphins, and she
Oh,
she was giving them handies, you know. And
I think she was giving them more than handies.
well, I was trying to be nice, you know.
Well, she was giving them all her stuff.
all their stuff. Well, that's nice of her.
Yeah.
Seems like a good.
That is
lady.
nice.
Good.
Anyways, more on the dolphin some other time. I
Absolutely.
just wanted to bring that up for us to
For
because
sure.
This is where you bring things.
But actually, that brings me to something very interesting.
Okay.
I don't have anything to pull up, but it is something to talk about. That apparently there was a group of people who were down in Antarctica, and they were working with the military, and they were down there with a submarine, and they're way, way, way low, and one of the guys that was apparently was in the missile room had ports to look through, and that was one of the only places, and actually needed to actually crawl through like a crawl spacey area to actually look out the ports that were down there. And one of them ran up and was like, "Captain, my captain, you got to come down below and check this out." So the head of the submarine came down, and they were looking out the port, stuck out there. And when they looked down there, they saw cities underwater.
They saw what?
Cities. Underwater cities. Yes. Underwater
I
cities.
thought you said titties.
No.
I swear.
I
thought you
mean,
said
maybe.
titties. I was like, how?
Maybe.
Mermaid?
Maybe it was a city full of titties. I don't know, but they saw cities.
That'd be good.
They
Really? They
yes.
saw cities? That's
Yeah.
actually crazy.
Yeah, super crazy. Yeah. Which all of these reports right now going around saying that there is that maybe all of these UFO sightings locally here that are happening are possibly not just UFOs coming from space, but actually UFOs that are here, that are maybe underground species. I heard specifically a lizard species that's underground that makes their own sun down there. And actually they don't come up to the surface very often. One of the people who was speaking to a lady who was claiming that she was a reptilian from this race of people that were underneath said that for them, the sun that's on the surface when they're underneath the sun feels what we would equate to as an orgasm. So, that's interesting. The lizards orgasm under the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like very pleasurable, right?
Very
Or
pleasurable.
They said that it's very pleasurable.
Yeah, that it wasn't like their sun underneath the in the core there, that they're way down there, but they come up here randomly, and they know the true history of humanity, and they know what's happened here, and actually, they consider themselves Earthlings and not us. We are secondary to this planet, that we came here after the fact. And by the sounds of the story, that it's the Anunnaki, that they agree that we were a part of apes being genetically modified and turned into the species that we are now. And that they've watched us basically get wiped out multiple times and come back again. And said that they've never helped us in regards to that because they didn't feel like they had to. They were about themselves, which, I mean, knowing humans, I sure would like a buddy alien, but we kind of, we kill ourselves, so we kill each other. And as would you really want to help that species out? I don't know if I would.
They seem kind of selfish. No pun intended. Get shellfish and selfish and the sea. They're all kind of tied together.
That was solid, Carl.
That's
so good.
That's really rude of them. First of all, and second of all, there was a point. If you told me any of this stuff, even 5 years ago, I'd be like, "This is too far fetched."
Yeah, you're way out there,
at this point,
yeah, it's 2025,
like,
dog.
Anything sounds possible.
Totally. Did you know penises are actually tails? Oh, it sounds accurate.
Yeah. Depends which way you're looking at it.
Yeah, right. It's my front butt.
Dude, everything is just so crazy right now that I'm like, okay. I mean, it's not, nothing is impossible, but at the same time, we got to use some sort of lens of, reality somewhere.
Reality, I know. Yeah. But absolutely,
shit's going down.
Shit is going down. Having so much personal experience with UFOs and stuff right now, for me, I'm willing to hear anything from anybody's perspective, because so many of these people that talk that genuinely seem genuine and have some really good information, I can relate to a lot of them. I've seen so many now that I'm very interested in hearing descriptions of other things. I've always been not down with the triangular UFOs, and in the news lately, a lot has come forward to say that is probably our stuff, and that it's the that's what's going on. The black.
That's what I heard too.
Yeah. So I would avoid those at all costs. Anybody wanting to signal a triangular UFO, but I've always had good experiences with the round or egg shape-ish kind of white orbs, and the dish shape orbs, both the large and the small ones.
And you've had a few sightings, and we'll talk about it sometime. There's a video on the channel that we interviewed you.
That's true.
I don't know, a few years back.
Now look where I am, coming up in life.
I know. Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Now I'm here. Yeah.
But you actually went to hypnosis, and
Correct.
we can talk about that some other time too, because you had some regression hypnosis.
Yes,
and that's really cool.
Yeah. Wow.
And you've had, you're one of those people that sees UFOs,
lots.
You see
UFOs.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, is there a common color or light emission that you're like, oh, this is for sure you okay? And what is that?
But it's actually the one that's easily confused with other things in the sky, though, because it's a white light. It's just white and round, not perfectly round usually, though. There's a difference to the shape of it, so it's easier to see. But I have spent so much time looking up in the sky now, it's really easy for me to differentiate between a helicopter, you know, at night. I've seen unmarked planes actually flying around, and I thought that was really cool to just see our stuff and being like, hey, well, what are those guys doing there? But yeah, I would say spherical shape white orbs would be the most common, and I would, from the vantage points that I've seen, being within anywhere with a couple 100 feet of them to them being way up in the sky, I would estimate around the size of a car to a truck to maybe a little bit bigger sometimes. Sometimes even smaller though. Like sometimes they've been around the size of a car, under a car, those particular shapes. But for me personally, it's the sphericals and disc shaped UFOs. And I've seen.
And what's a light like? Is it like super bright plasma, like looking at the sun? Or I said like 100 times right there, but
well, it's like
is it like a light, or is it like
a light.
The sun, or is it like?
So they get very bright. So I personally have called it beaming up, but I probably heard it somewhere before and like used it as a reference point. But if you signal them, so like in the CE5 program where you're using lasers to point up at the craft, if you're lucky enough to get a show, and quite often they put a show that's usually not just hey, here's the laser. Sometimes they will interact with you, pressing the laser, making a pattern like an SOS pattern or whatever you want, you know, using Morse code. They'll repeat it, you know. If you're lucky, you'll get them repeating it. But my favorite show is always when they beam up. So they start out like low, there'll be like a low, and then all of a sudden they will light up, and it will literally light up so much bigger than the size of the vehicle. They'll light up a section of the sky, you know. I'm not talking miles or anything, but really big, right, in comparison to like the shape of the size of a truck. And that's really cool to watch, really fun to watch.
Yeah, I've seen some Michael Greer C5 stuff, and I think they call it powering up.
Powering
like,
up.
Oh, power up.
Yeah,
powering
up. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just starts glowing.
Yes. Yeah.
I wonder
absolutely.
how much of that is our minds connecting with it, because now we know that they're conscious. I mean, that's what.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyways, that.
Yeah, I would say the elation level for everybody who's around by that point, you've already you got the you know, the first start of like, oh my God, I'm seeing UFOs, you know, I'm seeing this UFO in the sky, and you got that connection, and you start to get your energy up, and you're connecting with it. But then when it really sets in is when the interaction happens, when there is that feedback of you signaling them and them repeating it, and you're at a stage where you're like, hey, I'm communicating with another being from somewhere. At that point in time, you know, a power up is definitely something that is amazing. Yeah,
that gives me juice. I want to go outside with a laser pointer so bad. I know. And you believe in the laser pointer power, huh?
Yeah. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's because the light itself signals the craft, and it's something that's like a concentrated beam of light that's attracting them, or maybe it's actually more the mental aspect of you feeling like, hey, I'm giving you this pathway to connect with me, meet me at the end of this light, you know?
Right. Yeah.
It kind of feels like
you're supposed to think.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're supposed to think of your location, from what I heard.
Yeah.
So having that light, you're kind of like actually concentrating on that exact point. So I wonder if that has something to do with it.
100%. And they appear, I've never had them appear like halfway down, like never had them appear like halfway down the beam. It's always been at the very end, like at the end point of the beam. They've always appeared there. not anywhere
How
else.
freaky would it be though if like all of a sudden it's like right
right in front of you? Yeah, the shock factor would be maximum. Like, whoa, bro, a little too close. I put a beam up. You're supposed to be up there.
Yeah,
No,
that would
yeah.
be scary.
Yeah, for sure.
All
The-
right.
the
That's
close,
cool, man.
yeah. Close contact, absolutely. Like within a couple 100 feet has been the most exciting for me, other than my original UFO sighting with a giant UFO that felt like, Independence Day level experience. That was when the difference between looking at a couple people that are visiting and saying hi to you versus what looks to be a freaking city worth of people or larger appearing,
Right.
the significance of that and the vibe, the feelings, the energy exchange going on there. I was in San Francisco, of course, the story. I was in San Francisco at the time, and that feeling and that sensation of looking at probably them looking at me or at the city, like getting that back
Right.
and forth was like, wow, this is so crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't heard anything about, because I guess there's malevolent and
Yep. Benevolent.
the other kind.
Yeah.
Benevolent.
Yeah.
Benevolent and
Yeah.
malevolent.
Yeah, that's the one.
So we don't know which ones are which.
Yeah.
And is there any risk to like queuing up the wrong one? Like nobody really talks about that.
Well,
like Dr. Greer's not like, well,
Right.
you see them and they're green or whatever.
I'd
don't
like
talk
to
them, but-
personally thank you for throwing that into the mix for me, bro. Now I'm gonna be
Okay.
out there like, is this the wrong one?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if you
No.
are communicating with some that's not
Hey,
friendly, right?
that's absolutely possible. I mean, I can imagine that's going on, but I've never had a negative experience. Not to sound like, it's all like special and it's not possible for you to have a negative
Right.
experience, because I mean, there's bad people, there's good people. But I always think this: if you're going to survive millions of years, you're probably not killing each other, right?
Right.
You're not killing each other. You're probably at a place where you're at a spiritual level, or at least a care level of where you care for other beings, that maybe
Sure.
maybe to last that long, maybe you're looking at more chance of a benevolent being than a malevolent one. I mean, we're pretty
Sure.
we're pretty tainted here with all the malevolent and benevolent people we have on this planet, but I'm thinking something that's going to last that long and is going to be willing to reach out and to look at another species, that most likely you're going to be benevolent. Not ruling out malevolent though, but that's my own
Yeah.
personal feeling. That's my feeling.
Yeah. The thing that makes me think that is that if the Earth is kind of, I don't know if it's an experiment or the zoo of the universe where there's a lot going on and there is some kind of value when it comes to us.
Yeah.
We're special somehow.
Yeah, I'd like to
And
think
I'm
we're
thinking
special.
when, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I think when there's something like that going on, there's probably other eyes on it too that want to fuck with it or
Right.
take advantage of it somehow.
Absolutely.
So that's what makes me think that there's always good and bad in everything, right? So
For
there's
sure.
probably some kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
crazy. So all right.
Somebody was just saying that it was Iran. Iran was saying that the United States of America is now controlled by the tall whites. Have you ever heard the story of the tall whites?
I saw that in an article or something today.
Yeah.
But I don't know anything about it. Tall whites like Elon Musk or
yeah.
or like
hailing
Donald
a
Trump's
cab.
son.
Yeah. Hailing a cab.
Or
I'll pull it up here. Yeah, the tall whites were first introduced by Charles Hall. Charles Hall was a gentleman a long time ago that claimed that he was working out at Area 51 and that he ended up being accepted by the tall whites. The tall whites were like, we like the jib of your sail is the old term, I think it is. I don't know. I'm trying to be old timey right now.
I like it.
Ahoy, mate. Yeah, Charles Hall. Here, actually, I could pull up a thing right now. Here, there's an interview on an Australian TV show here, so let's yank that up.
Good day, mate.
Now, what might lie out there deep in space? Do you want to believe we're not alone? That somewhere in the universe, intelligent life may actually exist?
Our next guest says there is life out there. It does exist. Dr. Charles Hall said he spent 2 years working with extraterrestrial beings during his time with the American military. He claims the US military has actually been in contact with alien species for years. And Dr. Charles Hall is here to explain, along with his wife Marie, live from what Bugs Bunny used to call Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, thank you both for your time. Terrific to have you with us. Firstly, Charles, can you tell us your story of how you managed to come into contact with these beings as you worked with the military?
I'm a Vietnam veteran, and I enlisted in the Air Force in July 1964, and I was trained as a weather observer, and I was sent to Nellis Air Force Base, Nevada, outside Las Vegas, Nevada, and for 2.5 years I was sent up to the gunnery ranges up at Indian Springs, and I was given a clearance to allow me to go anywhere in Dreamland as long as I was alone. I discovered that up there at the north end of Indian Springs Valley, which you can see on the map in the state of Nevada here in America, that there was a base which the U.S. Air Force maintained for a group of extraterrestrials who were tall and white. And I, as the duty weather observer, was allowed to go up there, or they were allowed to come down to where I was. And the interaction took place over more than 2 years.
Wow.
During those 2 years, I also interacted to a lesser extent with the Roswell Greys, and I've also personally talked with the extraterrestrials that I call the Norwegians with 24 teeth, who come here from a very nearby star, perhaps Bernard star. And my experiences, my presentations, my books are unique because I'm the only person that I know.
There he is selling his books.
Wait, he's the only person that he knows that what? That talks to them, bro.
To the tall whites, yeah. So what ended up happening was the children ended up liking him. He said that they thought he was funny. I guess he just was a funny caricature to them, and he was kind and gentle. So they were happy to allow him to interact with the kids. So that was basically his in. He said at one point of time there was an interaction where a elderly of them, apparently as they age, their bones grow and they get taller and taller and taller. And eventually, because they're getting taller, that it puts stresses on them, and ultimately that's how they die. But it takes hundreds of years for these people to be able to die, but that is the main way they die. They get really tall at an old age and pass. I guess they were walking on some stairs, and they value their children highly, and they value their elderly highly. And I guess one of the elders had tripped and was falling over, and of course Charles at this point was friendly with them and obviously had a relationship, so he was concerned that this elderly alien had started to fall, and he went to go grab him, and they helped him, and apparently they move super duper extremely fast, and he right away they semi-attacked him, and then one of the women who takes care of the children basically said, leave him alone, he's okay, don't worry. And but their reaction was very right away, like, what are you doing with our people? So there's definitely just a line drawn there for them, between us and them. So despite his good relationship that he was having with them, they still were like, yeah, you're just a human, bro.
What a trip. There's so much going on right now with so many different accounts and
I know
people, and like people just having crazy claims. And I'm thinking about the time, how many ever years from now, when we just know what everything is, hopefully.
Yep.
And what that looks like what are the YouTube videos going to be about? What are we going to be talking about? It's not going to be sightings anymore, and you know we're all going to know what everything is. So then, we're just going to talk about the tall whites and the short blacks,
right? Well,
there aren't any. How come there's no black aliens?
There is.
We have white, we have grays.
No, there is.
Is there?
Yes, black aliens have been reported. Well, there's multiple races of black aliens that have been reported. There was a black alien in South America that had very red eyes. One of the notable things was the red eyes.
He was stoned.
yeah.
Damn.
Just got back from Jamaica. He had red eyes and apparently smelt very bad, which is one of the
ammonia.
Well, yeah, that was one of the descriptions, and then everybody says that the grays, that there's the smell of ammonia that comes off of the gray aliens, and
and if you've ever been around me, I reek of ammonia.
Yeah, well, you like to clean yourself very oddly.
With ammonia.
Yeah.
Yeah, what a trip. Well, that would kind of suck when it comes to the interbreeding, because I'm all about, once we get friendly and stuff. I used to have this recurring dream that I had an alien girlfriend. This is a true story.
Okay.
And I don't remember any sex part, but I was like totally in love in my dream. Like I loved her so much. But if she smelled like ammonia, I'm a smell guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would kind of kill it for me.
Yeah. At least sprinkle a little vanilla on there or something, little
like
ammonia.
The potpourri or
exactly.
Some nut champa, some nut champa.
Yeah, for sure. There's that who was that guy in New York who ended up making all of the paintings, who claimed who claimed that while he was interacting with the aliens, he bit off one of their nipples. He was having sex with them or whatever, and he bit a nipple off. I don't know where that came from, but he said he did that, and he said that there was a process that they went through of cleanliness beforehand. Maybe some of that ammonia smell is that. Maybe it's just how aliens smell. I don't know.
Well, I don't know if you've seen the Area 52,
which one?
Where Chris Ramsey, there's some that he reads stories from 4chan or whatever.
Okay.
And this one was someone that said that they have done biopsies on aliens and broke down the whole system on how they work.
Okay.
From like head to the toes, how the eyes work, the black film over their eyes. And then he was basically saying that, I'm going to butcher this, but the gist of it is that I don't know if they have like, instead of a kidney and a liver, they have a combo, and everything goes from that through tiny little pores basically out the skin, so they don't defecate. That's why they all smell like ammonia. Everything secretes out of their skin, and that also creates a barrier between them and the outside, so no microbes or whatever can get to them as well. It's a really fascinating story that he reads. It's so in depth. That was one of the best one.
What a smart design, actually, when you think about it, because ammonia and stuff is sterile. So maybe you're creating a sterile environment on the outside. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard that.
Yep. Cool. Yeah. And I'm proud to announce that I have become an intern at Area 52.
Wow, that's fantastic. Are you gonna tell us all about that?
Basically, I joined their Patreon.
Oh, nice.
For $5 a month.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
that's all that means. Yeah. But you get a cool little badge.
Nice.
I'm basically best friends with Chris Ramsey now. We do magic tricks.
Oh,
He comes over for coffee in the morning. Oh, it's so fun.
Oh,
he's so great.
Amazing. That sounds fantastic.
Love that show, man. That's like one of the biggest blessings so far in UAP stuff. I like the way he puts everything together. It's cinematic. His personality is great.
Area 52.
He's cute. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Area 52 is badass. It's good. It's solid program.
Super good.
I'm a big fan of those guys too. Another group of people I'm a fan of is good old Jesse Michaels over there on American Alchemy. He recently had a construction worker that claims that all of a sudden he got super intelligent and knows lots about physics after having an experience with blue aliens. I'll pull him up here right now.
All around us, you can use the potentials that exist all around us right now in the quantum vacuum to surveil an entire room.
How would you do that?
I don't want to say because it starts to overlap into stuff that's sensitive. I know a group that is working in the government that has been working on this since the 90s, and they've had massive success. There are things that I've seen in private laboratories that are undeniable and verified by people other than myself in those facilities. A UAP was hovering near some plants. And as an individual approached the UAP shot off, as many people have experienced. However, when the plants that were close to the UAP were analyzed, they had aged 10 years within X amount of hours. We're dealing with multiple factions or elements of both government and private industry that have vast influence on what could or could not be revealed, and no one really knows what to do. If you reveal some, then people are going to take it and run with it, and then that's going to open up a whole other avenue of research that can be weaponized pretty easily if someone has a nefarious mindset. We have mutual friends that are privately working on some of these things where 6-7 months worth of work in the lab, all of a sudden it's a weapon now. And if someone gets a hold of that weapon, it's game over.
It's game over, he says. Interesting.
Damn.
Interesting. It sure would be nice for some of these blue aliens to come down and maybe give our politicians a quick boost, you know?
Yeah. I'd love to know what that guy was like
beforehand. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Because like, was he intelligent still and into some stuff and he just had a boost, or was he complete?
Was he yelling at
like
chicks
regular guy?
Yeah. Yo, girl.
Cat calling. Hey,
blue pants.
I wonder if he was like that. And and I'd love to know what he was like right after, and what the people at his, like, was there a change in his personality? Did he go to work next day like completely
different,
genius mode? And
it's interesting. Yeah, when I had my first big UFO experience, I locked myself literally in my room for a week and just looked at everything that had to involve with where I saw the UFO or anything that anybody had seen something similar. I was actually really nervous. I was in the country, your country, as a foreign Canadian, and I didn't want to get kicked out, so calling the FBI or anything like that I was pretty nervous about doing it. So I investigated the different places. So ultimately I ended up reporting to New Fork, which is the National UFO Reporting Center. Yeah, that's right. National UFO Reporting Center. And he operates out of a missile silo, I think, in the state of Washington, which is super. Yeah. He has,
that's awesome.
Really cool guy too. He's a really nice person. At first I was really weirded out because he didn't answer me, but it turns out his mail went into the trash for me instead of getting it. So, yeah, spam. He got spammed. So I messaged him again. Ended up being a really nice guy, very interested in what was going on with my experience. But you were saying?
Yeah, and you've also contacted the guy from that documentary, the man that sees UFOs, right? That sees UFOs, isn't that the guy that sees UFOs? There's a documentary called, I think, The Man That Sees UFOs.
That's
right?
correct. Yeah, he's on my Facebook. Nice guy. He wishes me a happy birthday every year. So.
That's awesome. I wish we could interview him. I wonder what he has to say about it now. Although he seems really grumpy about the whole thing, but it would be nice to see what he has to say about it.
Despite him wishing me happy birthday, I've reached out multiple times, and he wasn't somebody who was easy to talk to. I think that he has a lot of people trying to engage with him. So I don't know.
Wait, is he the one that said that he had to take a shit when he saw it?
No,
is that part of the story that when he saw it, all of a sudden he had to take a shit like really bad?
Oh my goodness!
I think that
remember that detail, but maybe it is.
I'm driving like this, and right there is this red orb. It shuts my camera off. My bowels start jangling around just fiercely. So I ran down here really fast, and I just right. And I'm like, you just made me shit my pants.
I don't know. He's
he was like all of a sudden he was like uncontrollable. He just had to go.
Interesting cat. They hit the brown note for him. They hit him with the brown note.
Yeah, totally. And he seemed at first. I'm like, what? You know, he seems a little all over the place. And I saw that years ago.
Yeah.
But then as they're recording, he's like, oh no, they're everywhere. He's like, oh, there's one right there. Yeah. There's one right there. And you pan to the sky, and there's like these lights all of a sudden. Like, what?
Yeah. There's, it's interesting. I think once you open up that valve, at least for me, this is my personal experience. Once that valve is open and you're so invested in this connection, that it's just a relationship that you end up having with these UFOs. They end up coming in and becoming a regular part of your life. I don't know, is it a hermetic principle, a law of attraction or something that's happening because you're so connected to it that now it's coming into your life? Or is it the fact that you are mentally connecting with these people now? Have they come down and tagged you? Are you now one of those people that are, that is going to be an abductee? We'll be talking about that further with me, but yeah,
I'm jealous. I'm envious about. I have always looked up in the sky. I have seen some stuff, but it's not for a for sure thing where I'm like, wow, that was crazy. It was going this way and then it was going that way.
Right.
The only time I have seen something crazy, I was on acid. This is a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend at a skate park.
Yep.
And we were chilling, and all of a sudden, all the lights went off. Like all the lights from the park just completely stopped, like down. Or went off. Yeah, and I'm like, "Whoa, John, that's crazy." Whatever. And then I look up at the mountain ridge, and there was a UFO like as big as the mountain. It was so humongous.
Yes.
And I was like, "Whoa, did you see that?" And he's like, "Yeah, I see it," and whatever. He's actually he passed away a few years ago, but before he passed away, he was in kind of a bad shape.
Yeah.
But I was like, "John, dude, do you remember that night where we saw the UFO?" And he was like, "No, I don't." And it's so funny because we talked about it for so many years, but it kind of got wiped from his memory.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But to me, that's not solid enough. Plus, I was on acid, so that's
right. Well,
although I've done acid a million times and I've never
seen
had
UFO.
Something just appear all of a sudden, like that crazy. But
so I'm somebody. I'm not somebody who's going to rule out those experiences with people, because I feel like mushrooms is literally a tool to connect with the universe. Me personally, that's my feeling. I feel like mushrooms is a technological device, even so to speak, that allows our relationship with mushrooms allow us to connect with things that aren't maybe necessarily normally visual for us, or it gives you the chance to actually feel more like you're one with the universe. The whole ego death and becoming one with the universe is a very common aspect of that, and you look at like people who take DMT, who have all these experiences of, oh yeah, I 100% can tell you factually that I was somewhere else and I was living a whole other life and having those experiences and stuff. So I don't write those off. I don't write those off. I think that
For sure.
that's something to be looked at, and it's easy. And I mean, it was literally historically a part of the disinformation program, was to make people look ridiculous, you know, sober or otherwise. And most of the time they were trying to be like, well, did you drink a little when you saw that UFO?
Right.
You know, like there was that influence was definitely there, was to disregard everything based off of that need to keep it all a secret. I am happy that it's 2025, and that is not the goal. Now we're starting to get that connection out there. I'm happy for it. I hope this brings good fruit for humanity. I hope this bears good things, and the realization that we're a part of a bigger family, you know, might realize how important it is for us to be human, you know, to appreciate your neighbor. That this experience,
and what we are.
Yeah.
Like what's our true nature? Because I think that there's a lot of talk about that we're the only species, because it's Space Boys. We're the only species that may be half spiritual and half earthly.
Right. Yeah.
Where we have this, we have like 1 foot out and then we have 1 foot in kind of thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the duality of that too is important. The idea, the concept of, I mean, it sure is to stack fat notes of money and have material, and you know, feel this material stuff, sex, you know, swimming in a beautiful ocean. All of the things as a human is such a amazing, wonderful experience. Getting to wake up and see a beautiful sunrise, or you know, watch a sunset. All of those things are such an amazing human experience for us here, that the material stuff is definitely a big aspect of what it is to be human.
For sure.
But my concern is that the spiritual holds as much value, and I think if we're gonna move off of this planet and we're gonna show our value as a species to other species, and that we're able to co-create and coexist, that maybe we should stop killing each other, you know?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
For sure.
Start doing some good stuff.
Yeah, and it's very interesting. I think that if I was in the government, and I would think that this is a perfect time to do a disclosure, which we've already had disclosure.
Yeah,
but just nobody gives a shit. I mean, I even start seeing videos now where I'm like, meh. You know, like I've seen them now. It's like, it's not that big of a deal.
Right.
So it's pretty interesting that I always thought that people were going to freak out. And just like the, what was that thing that happened? Was it in the 60s? Or in the 50s or something? Where's that radio station?
Right. War of the Worlds. War of the Worlds.
They were reading the War of the Worlds. Yeah. And people thought it was real and they were freaking out.
Jumping off of bridges. Well, I mean, to be fair, at that particular time, there was the Cold War fears, all of the things that were going on. That particular time probably wouldn't be the most optimal time. I actually think people back then could have handled it. I think it would have probably disrupted things, but we're at a place now where we can, as a species, we can, you know, when the Catholic Church, you know, the questions of religion, is this go against Jesus? Does this go against, you know, Jehovah? Are they demons? All of those things. I think all of those questions would be revealed by getting to learn and to know aliens, getting to know the other species. You know, what are their intents? Are they good people? You know, are they a good society?
Are they good lovers?
Are they good lovers? I mean, 3 boobs. Who cannot resist 3 boobs.
3 ammonia boobs.
3 ammonia boobs. Yeah. A little spritz of vanilla will fix that. What was else I was going to talk about? Oh yes, Chris Bledsoe, the man also who attracts UFOs and has a connection, and NASA themselves has invited that guy to come into NASA. He knows a lot of people who are very interested in his story. He has interactions in his backyard. You can check out his Instagram. For the love of me, I can't remember, but it's Chris Bledsoe who it is, and his family has seen them. He's had all kinds of crazy experiences. They've shape-shifted for him, even. They've seen him in the form of a bull. There's a lady that comes and talks to him, but generally speaking, they interact with him the same way that I've had interactions and every other C5 person has, where they appear in the sky and they come close by and interact with his laser. If you look at his Instagram, he has almost nightly experiences that he posts up there. So he has a plethora.
Really?
Yeah, he has a plethora.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Check him out on Instagram. But he recently said that he had his memory wiped by a device like a neuralizer, from the movie Men in Black.
Men in Black?
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
So I'll pull up a little video here.
How would you remember that?
Right. How did he remember? Good question.
Today. What if I were to tell you that Men in Black neuralizers were a real thing?
Sorry.
Well, according to podcaster Danny Jones, Chris Bledsoe went on his podcast and told him about this real-life Men in Black neuralizer that actually exists. Now, the caveat is Danny had to delete it from the interview that he did with Chris Bledsoe because he felt it was just too much, and so he didn't include it. But in this interview that I'm about to show you a clip of with another podcaster named Jesse Michaels, he revealed that information. And I found that to be absolutely fascinating because, you see, they were talking about how the Chris Bledsoe episode on Danny Jones got, I don't know what suppressed, I guess is the right word, right? Something about it was, just not getting shown on YouTube, right? Couldn't find it in the search and whatever, that kind of thing. So he revealed that this is a segment that he cut out. And if you're familiar with the UFO community and some of the most mysterious people in it, you'll never believe who told Chris Bledsoe about this neuralizer. His name is Tim Taylor.
We were just talking about
Tool Man,
Tim Taylor.
Yeah,
who
that's the guy.
I would always mention pseudonymously. He was written about in this great book by Diana Pasulka, religious studies professor, called American Cosmic, and then he was kind of doxxed by Chris Bledsoe on your show, actually.
Right.
So,
Which I thought that might have been the reason that video got completely blasted off the face of YouTube because of him talking about him. Right. Because if I'm that guy, and I have all these connections that he allegedly has, I could probably make a call or send an email to somebody at YouTube being like, nuke this thing.
Totally. Yeah, well, that's what, and Bledsoe even says in the story that Tim Taylor gives him a whole brief about UFOs. And then he says, you can't send this to anybody. And then he sends the email or something to his wife or somebody very close, and immediately gets a call from Tim being like,
knowing that he forwarded it.
Yeah. Like you fucked up. Yeah.
How would that feel all of a sudden? You send off a private email to your wife, and then he's like, I told you, buddy, don't send it.
Yeah, go fuck around.
Yeah, that'd be a little creepy. Yeah, so apparently there's neuralizers. That makes sense to me that there would be devices like this because memory wiping is obviously the single most consistent aspect of alien abduction across the board for people, is that there's this neuralizer. And if we are doing back technology, I'm going to assume that level of technology, maybe we designed it, I don't know, but I would think that it would probably be coming from back engineered technology myself, is what I would assume. What do you think?
It's hard for me. That one's hard for me to swallow.
Yep.
Just because of like, I mean, it's not impossible. Sure, nothing's impossible at this point.
Right.
The thing is, how would he know that happened if it was really erased?
Yeah, that's
like
a good
how
question.
would you remember that, right?
Yeah.
And then also, how does that thing work where it specifically deletes
memories?
Something like, it doesn't just wipe your memory completely where you don't know who you are or anything, right?
Right.
So it just deletes something
Right.
that just happened, or so I don't know. I don't know enough about it to make a really educated guess, but it sounds far-fetched due to probably movies and how fantastical it sounds.
Yeah.
But I would love
it's
to
on
know
Men in
how
Black.
he knew that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. It's so funny how movies really, either movies informed our present,
right,
or it's the whole art imitating life, or
Right.
life imitating art kind of thing, because so many of the things that were in movies now actually check out.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
So that's trippy. I don't know.
Well, Mork and Mindy, they had the egg-shaped UFO. Good old Mork
Sure.
came down with the egg-shaped UFO, and here we are, 2025, egg-shaped UFOs. Yeah, you bring up
I
a
mean, the
valid
craft,
point.
the way the craft looked like, the so many little details, even in the Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Right.
There's all kinds of stuff with the radiation burn on his face and all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah,
So, I don't know.
It's interesting you mentioned that, because there's lots of stuff going on about people wanting to make claims who worked on these projects with the government, who worked on these projects, but because they're black projects, that they aren't getting covered. Their kids have cancer and stuff. All
Right.
I
saw that.
Yeah, that's it's pretty wild. I'd hate to be in that position.
Sad.
Yeah, it is sad. If you expect your government, especially you're keeping secrets for your government. You are being a patriot to your government. You're caring about your people. Give those people what they need. Period. Take care of your people. They're taking care of the secrets. Don't kill them off, because that's an easy thing to do. Take care of them. Put them through the cancer treatments, or the things that they need.
Put them extra care.
Yeah.
I mean, they worked on the heaviest, most important stuff. How are you gonna? Yeah.
Yeah, how are you gonna let them down?
Government's weird.
Yeah, it is. What a crazy bureaucracy. It's a whole other episode, that one.
Yeah, the bureaucracy episode.
Yeah, the bureaucracy episode. Yeah. Talking about devices, one of the commonalities of a few times I've heard that even Charles White actually was talking about the fact that there is handheld devices like neuralizers, same kind of shape, same kind of pen, and that they're actually defensive devices. You think guns are scary. These things apparently stimulate certain elements inside your body, magnesium, potassium, and they're basically got levels. Good old Star Trek, art recreating life, or vice versa. And on Star Trek, the phasers would like stun somebody or whatever, but these things that apparently are weapons that are being used by some alien species stimulate, like literally activate magnesium or potassium and things in your body, and it ends up being everything from like a burn sensation to completely disintegrating somebody's body, absolutely molecularly destroying their body just by a press of a button. Yeah.
Wow.
There was a guy, was it in Washington, old famous story, where he put an alien in his freezer, and his dog, he came around the corner, and his dog bit this alien, attacked this alien on his hike, and it just turned into a puddle. The dog just got completely melted into a puddle, and he had no more dog. And then the guy fought off the alien, ended up sticking it in his freezer. we'll have to do an episode about that sometime, because that one's an interesting.
That's nuts, dude.
Right?
What is happening?
Yeah, what is happening? That guy had multiple, if real, he had multiple attempts on his life, and was on the run. He ended up sending a piece. He took an armband off of the alien. It was like this gold-looking armband, and he ended up sending it to Japan. He got it out of the country right away, and a scientist in Japan has this armband from this event or whatever. And when he was looking at it, it had like needles on the inside, so whatever was going on with the interfacing, it was actually going into this alien skin that was attached to. So there's, I mean, you know, transhumanism, transalienism is going on. There's the merging of, you know, of mechanical and reality, you know. I'm not gonna go sticking my cell phone up my butt anytime soon, though. Let me tell you what.
I tell you what.
I'll tell you what.
I would do it.
Yeah, I'd do
I'd
it.
be down.
I'd do it. Awesome. So it's been a fun episode to be talking to you.
Yeah, it's been great. And we'll also have Enoch, the third space boy.
Oh man,
he's abducted right now, so we can't have him on, but he's shortly going to be disabducted.
Yes,
if that's a word.
And I'd like to say props to your girlfriend and that wonderful T-shirt that you have on, my friend.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
My girlfriend knows that I'm a complete UFO nut, and she got me a UFO shirt.
Yeah.
She also got it for me because apparently when we go hiking, I scare the hikers. I mean, I'm not doing anything scary, but it was like seemed really shocked when they see me. I don't belong in that thing, so she got me a couple of shirts that aren't like, you know, death and
you're a beautiful man, Zorro. Don't let them don't let them affect you badly, bro.
Snuff my I'm like, what's wrong with me? I started tripping and kind of like started I went up this little hill and then I started walking down, but I started walking really fast where I had to like, whoa, I was like, I'm gonna like fall off the thing. And this hiker lady was coming on the other way, and I used her to like stop, and the look on her face,
you mortified her.
She was like, oh my god, it was horrible. But yeah, that's
so funny.
Thank you to my wonderful girlfriend for this very wonderful shirt.
Amazing. So if you guys want to support us, at some point in time we're going to get a Patreon up and some merch at some point. So one day, if you guys are loving what we do and want to interact with us, that would be a fantastic way to keep the show going. So
yeah, but till then, you can't talk to us, and you can't get a hold of us.
You can't get a hold of us.
We're not going to have a wonderful time.
We still love you, space pals.
Yeah. Oh, we love all the space people.
Yeah, I love all of them.
Whether they're tall whites or short blacks, we love them all.
All right. Well, peace, everybody. Have a good one.
Cool.
Later.
Catch you on the next one.
Echemos abajo la estación de tren, 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 demoler, 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 echemos abajo la estación de tren, demoler, demoler la estación de tren, demoler, demoler la estación de tren. Ta 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 ya ya ya. Nos gusta volar estaciones de tren. Demoler, 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 demoler. Nos gusta volar estaciones de tren. Demoler, 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 demoler.
And I'm driving like this, and right there is this red orb. It shuts my camera off. My bowels start jangling around just fiercely. So I ran down here really fast, and I just... Right? And I'm like, you just made me shit my pants.